Welcome back to the Blissful Badger. We've got a few Liberators left to paint. I have tea that does not have caffeine in it today. And let's get some painting done. Hope everyone had a good day. It was pretty hot today. And we're going to work on the emerald. And I am here. I just realized I haven't actually shared the link anywhere. I will be right back after I've done that. Hello, Julian. Hello, MK. How is everyone today? Hey, not everyone gets notifications on videos. And like I said, my Discord isn't hooked up to this computer yet, so when I eventually get a new one, I will be fixing that. I usually make sure to post those before 7 o'clock, but I remembered as I was working on this, and no one was here yet. So I've fixed it. I have shared the links. And now I'm painting again. These guys are gonna be done today. Yeah. How was your day, Julian? Sweet. Productivity is always good, and fancy seafood pasta sounds like it was lovely. Too much percent, huh? Lovely. I just finished the emerald on these guys. There wasn't a lot. The purple has a little bit more than that. That sounds like it was a lovely day. And for the royal purple. Yeah, I haven't seen Mustache yet today. I'm sure he'll be along shortly. I had pizza for dinner because Domino's had a thing where if you spent $10, you get a free medium. I was like, okay, yeah, 2 pizzas for $14. Sounds good to me. So, okay. Plus, it's always nice when you don't have to cook. Well, cooking's not the problem. Cleaning is. It's always nice when you don't have to clean after a meal. That wouldn't solve anything. Well, yeah, this is going pretty good so far. Already 2 colors in. I know that the silver takes a lot longer, but and then I have to figure out exactly how detailed I want their shields to be. I liked going a little bit simpler for the prosecutors because they had wings. So I'm thinking they need these liberators need somewhere in between the prosecutors and the oh man, I don't even remember what these guys are called. Retributors? I don't know. It's been a whole couple of days since I painted them. That's the purple. 2 colors in, 20 minutes in. Okay. Oh, reclusians. There we go. That's what they're called. Moving on to silver. A tiny bit of tea. Hello, mustache. I have already done emerald and purple on these guys. It only took me a little over 20 minutes. The silver's gonna take a little while longer than that. How was your day? Yeah, emerald and purple are already done. I just got in here and started working on it, and yeah, emerald and purple already done. It's just like I was excited. Sweet. It's good to hear that you got the chariot in. Okay. Well, so long as you can still use it, right? Yeah. Ooh. Pair of big cats, huh? That sounds fun. Hello, Philip. How are you today? I actually watched a couple of battle reports and info things, videos about BattleTech in the last day and a half. You know, the intro box game that Ash Barker did. That was pretty cool. Gave a good understanding of the first part of it. Well, I've never painted any of the old Liberators, so this is what I know. But if I got my hands on some of the old Liberators, I'd still enjoy painting those too. The Gorilla Miniatures games, whatever. The GMG. He used to work for Games Workshop, and then he worked for Mini Wargaming, and then he got his own YouTube channel. I think he is the creator of the Steel Rift game. Think. Yeah. It's like, I figured you did. I just needed to go far enough into it. But yeah, I watched his intro box game. It didn't have anything to do with heat or anything, but it had like positioning and rolling for locations and everything. So I used to watch Mini Wargaming a lot, years and years and years ago. I enjoyed their narrative campaigns. But I haven't watched any of their stuff since about 2 months after they started working on the whole, room and board type thing that they were working on. So or whatever it is. But overall, yeah, I watched a couple of videos about BattleTech. It was interesting. One of the other videos I watched was from a different person. It was about choosing camo patterns. So yeah, it was good to see some videos about it. Trying to just get a good grasp on the topic before I make my own videos. So yeah, mech camo. It's not that bad. I've been trying to get as much info as I can so that when I start doing some videos, I'm not, this is what I've read. This is like a whole, 3 minutes of exploration of the game. I want to be able to actually understand what I'm talking about to a certain extent. So Oh, I will go back to what you were asking, Philip. Since I have the Dominion box, dudes with spears, I do say that this is more consistent looking with those models, so as far as that goes, I think it's better. But at the same time, I think, a chunkier model isn't a bad thing. I mean, heavier armor was historically something that happened. Different time periods and everything. But yeah, I just like painting, so... But yeah, as far as the color scheme I'm going for, I am very close to 2 or 3 other color schemes that I saw. I'm not going to modify mine very much, but I think it's cool to see, a whole bunch of different looks that are similar. And I do still need to decide what I'm going to do beyond the 5 that I'm going to paint up initially. No, I don't have enough for all of them. Yeah, I mean... Let's see. I'll be right back. So, if you go back to the previous box with Dominion, these guys are meant to be chunkier. So this would be the equivalent to this guy as far as like battlefield role. They're not very much different at all. I mean, he's got robes and stuff, but they're about the same scale. I don't see there is a big difference. So, not a big deal. And then if you take, a Liberator and hold it up to, an older model, like, that's not as great of a face. I don't even know if that's showing through because of the black prime. But, they're not too much chunkier. And then, you know, you get guys like that, and they're, again, they have maybe 2 or 3 sizes larger thighs, calves, you know? But overall, they're not really much bigger, you know, chunkier. So, I don't see much problem with the different models. They're all going to be fun to paint. So, I don't know. And yes, all the mechs are not enough mechs. You need to have more. But again, I don't have a problem with the different chambers and everything having a slightly different look. I'm noticing that list building is a lot harder than they were saying it was going to be. Like, I was talking about having all of those Vanguard models. I don't have any leaders for that. Am I going to have to take each one as a auxiliary? That feels a little wasteful. But I don't know. I'm thinking, given a couple of months, you're going to have people going, okay, if we're not playing a tournament list, we're just going to bring whatever. I'm gonna expect that. Like, they come out with new models and then they go, whatever. But does it really matter? In the end, it's still a cool model to paint. I'm sure there's a way to play them. I'm one game in of Age of Sigmar ever. And, you know, I have another planned game on Saturday. So, we'll see if I have a 50% win rate or a 100% win rate at the end of Saturday. And we'll know if I'm going to have more rats or not that I'm going to want to buy. They're going to be announcing the new models while I'm at the game shop, so I will probably be pre-ordering if I hear about stuff that I really, really want. And either way, I'll let you know on Saturday night. But yeah, I'm not too worried about the different models and sculpts. I mean, every single one of these guys is on a 40mm base. I mean, a Stormcast on a 40mm base is whatever it is, right? I don't know. That's like... This is a Sequitur, right? I mean, he's got a shield and a hammer. Sure, it looks... it's a maul instead of a hammer, but it's still a hammer. It's a heavy thing on a stick with a shield. There's no reason why these can't be played as the same unit. So... But yeah, I've also been looking at the different technical specs of different mechs and what they look like and there's a few that I'd really love to get my hands on. Yeah. Okay. So, I could bring Andrasta. Okay. Yeah, exactly. If I think the model's cool, I should be able to bring it. I got the joke. That's nice. Yeah. Honestly, first edition AOS is the reason that I didn't get into it until the end of third edition. As far as collecting the models, it was like 2 years into third before I bought anything. Year and a half, 2 years. I just it did not feel right to not have points. So, and by the time they got it all settled and everything, I was kind of deep into 40k, and like when 6th edition 40k came out and I got my Dark Vengeance box, I had been eyeing Island of Blood, and I knew from then that I wanted the Skaven. So, I've been wanting it since then. but yeah, the whole Skaven all the way back at that point was something I wanted. So, I finally got my rats. Oh, and if you were wondering, I got the Stormcast half of Soul Wars for $50. So they're not all full units or anything, but as far as just more Stormcast to paint and field as 40mm based Stormcast troops, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. So, oh, what is it? I'm trying to think of things. Ah. So the bookmarks. So yeah, I keep looking at the Nova. Yeah. I've been looking at the Nova. Hey, Julian. Yeah. But I kind of want some of those as well. I know there was one in the Alpha Strike box, but I kind of like the dual fist punchy look with the whole it's very similar to yeah, don't go to London. Yeah, I agree. Um um Scarlet, no, not Scarlet. Black Widow. Black Widow's arm things. Yeah, the Nova reminds me of those. Yeah, I don't read a lot of news, but based on what I have heard, I don't really want to leave the continental U.S. at the moment. Just saying. I hope everyone's safe and everything wherever they are. Yeah. It doesn't even. It doesn't even have to be Christmas or Battle Force for me. It's like, seriously, $50? Like, I might not get things done very often, but I do paint a lot of models. It just doesn't usually happen to be the particular ones that I bought in that huge box. Yeah. Oh, it's okay. I have some other projects in mind that will end up getting done at some point in the mid to long term that I'm looking forward to. Battle forces and launch boxes past Skaventide are not high priority at the moment, but like I said, I would not mind painting up Blackstone Fortress and Cursed City throughout next year. That could be a nice little project. Yes. I think both of those Warhammer quests in a single year is a very good project size. I'd have to average, what, like 4 per month? 4 minis per month? Maybe 5? Something like that, from Cursed City. But they're all unique sculpts, or, you know, the the skeletons are a unit type of thing. Sadly, I haven't even looked at I haven't even been looking at Space Marine 2 because what is it recommended is an 8 GB graphics card. So, it's outside of my range of potential. So, but yeah, I think all those small projects and heroes and everything could be a very fun work through for a year. With all the other units and stuff that I do. But I think that if I can get the majority of my armies to the 1,000 points battle ready like I wanted to this year, whatever I had left that I didn't manage, plus those 2 boxes, would be next year's. I mean, I am talking about things that are, what, 4 and 5 months out? 5 months out from here, as far as projects, but I think it's cool to have some ideas. It I think I have the original box of Underworlds. It was Stormcast and Chaos, right? I have that. I think after 2 or 3 weeks of painting the same 10 clan rats over and over and over again, I'd have a rough time. Hello, Draco. No, they're not. They're 8 points a model. How many points is Rat Ogre? Yeah, I know. Okay, better yet. How much are... Okay, 38 points is a little bit better. How about Doom Wheels? Can I have a battalion of Doom Wheels? Mm-hmm. Okay. 100 points apiece. Okay. Well, I mean, that's not surprising. Why is it that a lot of the Battletech mechs that I look at are really, really high BV? Land yachts? Nice. No, I'm just saying, like, Oh. Okay, first, I'm talking about like the Nova is about 2600 BV. Like, I can't have four of those in a 5000 BV game. I can't even get two of those in there. And it's a medium. So, as far as the Skaven reveals go, I think they're going to have that big monster thing. A new Master Molder. New Rat Swarms. It would be nice if they had new giant rats, because they showed they could make them. And I'm really hoping for a new Night Runner, Gutter Runner kit. Or is that just a wish list? I think that might have been a wish list. I really want to see Rats on Rats Cavalry, though. Based on what I'm seeing, they don't have very many things that go fast. And they need things that go fast. Yep. I would like to see new Storm Vermin. The Warp Lightning Cannons and Storm Fiends seem fine. I mean, the Storm Fiends are only a few years old. Compared to the rest of the faction, you know, that they don't really need an upgrade. It would be nice if the rat backpack dudes were easier to construct, but other than that, the model looks fine. But yeah, the Night Runners are so old. That's fair. Like I said, I wasn't that worried when I bought all the things I did in the Christmas boxes. Because, well, I used some to convert things that don't even exist at the moment. They're legends. But they're still rats. They still have weapons. They can still be fielded. Yeah. But yeah, based on the secondaries that you can choose, Um, the secondaries, I mean, from the game I played one time, a lot of them have to do with being in the right position, like taking a piece of terrain or being on both ends of the both short ends of the battlefield or things like that. And yeah, like if you can't teleport or skitter jump somewhere or something like that, you're gonna lose a lot of potential points. So I would like to see a little bit faster movement as a potential. Like I said, I've only played one game of it. I don't know exactly what I can do with my army yet. But like having 2 units charge and not die is not something I would expect from my Skaven. Or at least not the list I brought. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Let's have some faster moving units. Either cavalry or mutated. One of the two. I mean, some of the coolest models in the Age of Sigmar line are the knights of different factions. I mean, let's see some of those. I mean, I would expect them to come out with at least 6 or 8 different units where people are going to want to buy them. I'm expecting to have several units that I'm going to have to paint after purchasing them. Okay, silver. Yeah, I mean, whether they're mutated rats, I mean, giant rats even. Just have giant rats. That's it. Where was it? Alright. I mean, these exist. They are models that they have. Like... I mean, okay. So one, that is 2 rats, and they are resin. I do not want to pay $33 for 2 resin rats. But they exist. They've made them. I mean... But yeah, the rat swarms are currently not in the codex. Or, you know, the point values. There's... Where is it? Points. Alright, back to the desktop. So, if you look, they have storm vermin listed here. But they're going to not be there anymore. They don't make the kit anymore. So, I'm hoping that we're going to make that. And if you notice, there are no rat swarms. Like, where do they go? I mean, I would think that's kind of a necessity. I guess they're going to make a new Globadier kit because they're not Scryer Acolytes anymore. They're Acolyte Globadiers. Yeah. So there is a Master Molder up here. I'm guessing they're gonna make a new one of those because isn't that still resin or whatever? So that'll probably be shown. But just overall, what they actually allow, there aren't very many here. So, there are a lot of holes in this list. So, hopefully they'll fix that. But... yeah. That is kind of ridiculous in price. But, I mean, I'm not going to buy those. I'll tell you that much. Let's see. I think I'm going to do the copper and the yellow, but not the silver back on the face again. Because that's a little bit much for some Liberators. But I do want to do more than just the outline. Yeah. See, I think it's possible to do... Yeah. It's just, if they don't have rules for them, that's the issue. The rules. I'm hoping that they'll announce a ton of new things. And I can choose, 3 or 4 units to purchase. To increase my forces. I will say, I would be very disappointed if, after all of the new reveals, the things that I end up wanting to add to my collection are a Vermin Lord, a couple of Doom Wheels, and another Warp Lightning Cannon. Like, it would be very sad if those are the 3 things that I end up wanting to get because of the reveals. So, here's hoping. Like, with a army refresh, I should be wanting to get a master molder, unless I just kit bash one of my own, which I'm totally fine with. I want to get like 2 units of storm vermin. Yeah. I mean, it has to do with the short-term sales numbers and long-term sales numbers. They're not going to sell things lower because they want to get all they can per, and if they burn a collector out, well, whatever, they've made their money. But yeah, well, they're not going to, sadly. I mean, I'm at the point where I would just be happy if they didn't raise their prices for 2 years in a row. Because they've been raising it 1 or 2 times a year for the last 4 years. But again, I've only purchased 2 things at full price ever, so there are plenty of sales out there if you look. You might not get the newest and the shiniest, but there are always models out there for a good price. So I'm going to do that with the shield, and then I'm going to do the outline here in the gold, and I'm going to leave the center the way it is. Again, the giant rats would be worth buying if we knew they were going to be in the Codex. Or Battle Tome, whatever. I keep saying Codex because 40k. But thank you. No, I lucked into finding all of these great. This color scheme just works so well. And it is something unique. I don't need to worry about my Stormcast looking identical to the next person's. So yeah, I know there are other editions and they were good in that. I just... There's a lot of aspects that I'm just like, why? Why did you do that instead of this? I don't know. But yeah, there are too many things that have been removed from the Skaven index that they can bring back. And it's hopefully going to be enough cool things on Saturday that I can choose the 3 or 4 that I really like to add. Because I do want to increase the collection. Yep. No, it's... I complain about it too. I'm just saying that as a consumer, I buy most of my stuff on sale anyway. So I'm not going to care as much about how much they're charging because I'm going to wait until I can find it on sale. Because between Amazon discounts or game shops or going to a swap meet or any of those other things, I'm not likely to spend full price on anything. So but at the same time, there's a reason why I own a lot of the models that I do, and that's because they were in the launch boxes, the discount purchases, the combat patrols, or the start collectings, or someone else's collection that they ended up deciding they didn't want. Like, I don't purchase very many specific models for something. There's a reason I don't own any Primaris vehicles. Uh-huh. Yep. So, when you look at it that way, it's nowhere near as bad. But a lot of the new people come in and don't realize that that's a potential way of saving the money. And they get burnt out after half of an army or 2 armies. And then that's what fuels the continued growth of the secondhand market. So, I'm not saying it's good business practice for GW as far as keeping their customers happy, but they make the money they need, and so be it. Tyranid half of 10th is a pretty nice unit of models. The thing is, they came out with that unit, you know, all those new units, and then they came out with all of the second wave new things. And how many of those first wave, you know, Leviathan box models are actually good in the game right now? Like, I am expecting the Rattling Warp Cannon and the Giselles and the Clan Rats to not be amazing after the Battle Tome comes out. It's going to be that big monster and whatever other new things come out. Like, not even the recast, you know, the reformulated new version of something. It's going to be the new models that they come out with. Because it's all about selling the new sculpts. So, Because if you have an army that, if you have a Skaventide and you have 1,270 points of Skaven models, well, you need 730 more to finish off your force. So what can you get to add 730 points? Oh, okay. So those 3 things are cool, and it'll get you there. And then you play it, and you see that those 3 things are, 3 times better on the battlefield. And there's these 2 other things that you can buy that will make your army better. And sooner or later, you are looking at a full force of things that are not in your starting box that you started buying. Oh yeah, music. Like, if you don't see a whole bunch of people bringing Neurogaunts to a game expecting them to do much. You don't see very many of the psychophages doing anything. But you do see a ton of the Norn assimilators and the other Norn. Yeah, okay. You see a lot of the Norns on the field. You see a ton of the new lictors. Not the old lictor, the new one. But it's all about getting a ton of people hooked on an army, having all of those new options, and then selling them. Yep. Yeah, I don't have any Catans either, and I was bringing warriors, and my clan rats regenerate better than Necron warriors these days. But no, I agree that the Neurogons are really cute. I kind of want to paint them up. Yes. That too. But again, Necron warriors were part of Indomitus, so a whole bunch of people own them. But not a whole bunch of people own Immortals. That's why Immortals are better than Warriors right now. Yep. Oh no, the Tyranid Flesh Borers gained a strength and an AP, and the Necron weapons lost an AP. Like, it's wild, the things. But again, it's a balancing act to sell the most minis. I would say that I would not be surprised if in the next edition, Plague Marines got stronger. But they're still too fresh in Dark Imperium, and a bunch of people have them from that. So it's going to be another edition or so before they get so much better. I've only played Tau twice in 10th, and based on their rules when I played before the Codex, if you had someone decide to be the guide, or, to guide a unit, and then the observer killed said unit, you are now shooting on 5s. Because it was no longer the viable target, and you were shooting at something different. You were playing orc shooting. Only because you guided. I threw a unit of 6 crisis suits and a commander together at the beginning of the edition, and had them deep strike in. I had a unit of flash gits overwatch them. My saves were horrible, and I lost half of my unit. I shot back and killed 1 flash git. And then my Tau have sat on the pile of opportunity since then. Yeah. 4 regular, 3 guided, but if you're not targeting the guided unit, they're -1. So they go to 5. Now, remember, this is pre-Codex Tau. Yeah. Yeah, the one that was observed a unit and then killed said unit, meaning that the guided unit ended up shooting on 5s. It's like, what? It should be so long as it's an eligible target if you choose something else, not shooting at, air. But it was, oof, that hurt. Alright, so that's where I'm going to leave the shields before the wash. It has some extra layers of paint, but it's not quite as intricate as that. Yeah. But again, that was also when Tau was super expensive and they were getting like a 30% win rate. I was also playing my Eldar at the same time when they were getting about 70% win rate. So, you know, best and worst armies at the same time. But yeah, the way that it was worded back then, it was pretty bad. And then we lost Longstrike. Oh, and I own one Remora. Because back in the day, you were allowed to field one. And then they made it so you had to have two. And then they made it so it was a Legends unit. Yep. Once a week. I've played 2 less games of 10th edition than the weeks since 10th edition released. Maybe 3. I go to the game shop almost every Saturday and get a game in. And a couple of times I've played a little bit more than that. I am in North Georgia. Yeah, I think a 15-20 hour ride is a little bit much. This paint is right about at the point where it's too thick and too thin at the same time. It's fun. Doesn't want to leave the paintbrush, and then when it does, it wants to goop all over the place. Trying to be as careful as possible. Okay. But yeah, I try to play once a week. A couple of times I've played 2 games in a weekend. A couple of times I've taken a weekend off. I wouldn't say I'm amazing at the game. My dice love to hate me. But what can you do, right? Like, I can roll 4 dice, 3s to hit, 1s re-roll, and get 4 2s. I mean, it comes down to time and trying to figure out what best way to... I mean... Tactics have a lot to do with it, but then also... luck. Yep. Um, one thing is I play slightly more aggressive than I need to most of the time. And I could hold back a little bit more and not try to kill as many opponent models and everything. And I might stay alive a little bit better that way. But where's the fun in that? Okay. That is the shields. Well, like I was saying about how Skaven needs some faster moving things. I mean, these guys get to have prosecutors that get to fly, and they got the dude on Griff. You know, they have some good fast movement. And then the Skaven have some ranged stuff, but it's not fast. So, it's interesting. Yeah, I haven't played my Necrons in a couple of, like 2 months now? The last game I played was trying out the Canoptic Court, proxying Scorpec destroyers as Canoptic wraiths. And I actually forgot my rules twice. Because I've been so used to playing the Scorpex as Scorpex. Hey! How's it going, Angel of Death? I am doing pretty good. I just finished the gold on the shields. That is the last color I needed to put on these. I just need to let them dry a little bit and do the washes. Yep. I know what you mean about the 4s, 4s, and 4s. So you're looking at a 12.5% chance to actually get a wound through, or damage through. Yep. Yep, I'm just letting it dry a tiny bit, and then we're going for the Reichland Fleshshade. And then that's 5 more models done. Which means we only have 3 more to go after this. I'm thrilled. Like, you know, this is day 26, and we have 3 models left to paint. And then we have to base some stuff. That's it. There are 3 models left. One of them is a big model, yes, but You know, the Tyranids managed to win. I mean, the Tyranids were just as much of an underdog as the Skaven were. The Tyranids managed to win their codes. And hey, my Skaven did beat the Blades of Corn. I mean, you never know. Maybe just Skaven players are better tacticians? Ah. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I have a Space Marine army, and I have a Stormcast army, and I have a Skaven army and a Tyranid army. Who do you think won? Oh yeah. Yeah, it takes everything and it adds a bit of red to it, and it just feels so much better warmth-wise, and the colors blend and details pop, and yeah, I love. This is just Reichland Flesh Shade. Like, it's not meant to darken it too much, it's supposed to just muddy it down a little bit and blend everything together. Yeah, I've tried to play most of my games as hordes. So when I played my Blood Angels at the end of Ninth Edition, I had 70 some odd Space Marines on the board. I don't have any of the tanks or vehicles for my Custodes army. It's just gonna be all dudes on 40 mil bases. Well, I guess I have a few of the bikes too, but yeah, movement and body count. Two really important things for 40k. If you can have a bunch of ablative wounds and get there fast, you should have a high probability of winning. That's why I love running a whole bunch of boys in my orcs. I mean, I'm actually gonna say something. If you keep coming back to it and you really want it, you can buy all the plastic medievals that you want. You will still want the medals. I mean, at some point you do have to give in. I mean, I understand trying to, you know, bulk out the army with plastics and stuff, but if you really keep eyeing those metals, you're not going to be happy with the plastics if you don't get the metals. I still think you could have a mix, but you're going to need them. Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, if you're craving a steak, chicken tenders aren't gonna satisfy. You know? No matter how many chicken tenders you eat, if you're looking for a steak, you're not gonna be satisfied. No, plastics are not more expensive than metal. GW plastic is more expensive than metal. But yep. I mean, when you look at things like War Games Atlantic and their troops, why are Imperial Guard so expensive? Or, ooh, sorry, not Imperial Guard. Astra Militarum. Well, you know, there's no reason you can't purchase things that you like the look of that are not GW. I mean, if you look at my pile of potential, I think I have 11 or 12 other game systems in there. It's not just Games Workshop. I have Malifaux. I have Hordes. War Machine and Hordes. That game doesn't even exist at the moment. Like, I have Starship Troopers. I have Arcadia Quest. I have Star Wars Legion. I mean, I have I have a whole force of, well, I have 2 forces for Dust Tactics. It doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't matter. They're cool models and I have them and I can paint them and play with them. even if it's not that particular game. Oh, and Battletech. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Relic Blade looks really fun. I don't need to get into another game system. I already just chose another one to get into, so... Like, I have so many different projects that I can work on, and only a few of them are Games Workshop. And I'm okay with that. I'm gonna go where the hobby takes me. Whichever models that I think look cool. Wherever I feel like working on stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, when I look at... Say I look at my Tau. I have over 5,000 points of Tau. I have made 2 purchases ever for my Tau. One was a lot that someone was selling for $200, and the other one was a lot that someone was selling for $400. I have over 5,000 points of Tau. You know... Mm-hmm. See, if I had someone around here that was playing fantasy, it would be a different story. But I don't have anyone, so it makes that a little bit less viable. Yeah. But that's why I chose to do Battletech. If I have the 38 max, that's plenty for 2 different people to play at once. I might do that in the future. I might do a challenge where I set out a goal. maybe the next big project I decide to do, where I'm working on a combat patrol or something like that. While I'm working on it, maybe I'll get progress reports and a challenge for everyone else do while I'm doing it. For the moment, though, I just finished 5 more models. They need to dry, but they are painted. No. 13,000 points of Skaven, 12,000 points of the other two. The Skaven get the extra 1,000 points because they are Skaven. Yes, yes. So I have another 40 minutes. Now, as I was saying earlier, if I didn't already have 4 Age of Sigmar armies, a whole force of Boingrots and trolls would probably be a thing. What do you mean, next group of models? I mean, I'm not going to work on the Griff right now, but I have the majority of the colors right here on the wet palette, and we have another 40 minutes. So, I mean, if I can get this done tomorrow with the Griff, that gives me an extra day. The Claw Lord's gonna take me at least 2, so if I'm gonna try to get this done in 1 month, I mean, I gotta work on it, right? I mean, I'm not going to finish this guy in 40 minutes, but he has a Griff as well, so between him and the Griff, it's going to take a little bit. No, I already know what force I would play if I was playing Old World or Fantasy. Something that doesn't exist in Age of Sigmar. It is a Chaos faction. Can you guess what it is? So I own an airbrush, but I still don't really use an airbrush. It has to do with the air compressor and everything. I'd need to set it up outside and use it outside right now. So I can't use it very often when it's really, really hot or wet or late at night. So no. Neither of those, mustache. No. No, not Tomb Kings. Man, is it even out? That I'm questioning. Yeah, they still exist. Yeah. So, yeah, it still exists as a fantasy battle game force. I don't think it's in Old World. It's definitely not in AOS. Oh, I'm not sure if they're going to do an old world version of it. Confused? Yes. Yes. If I were to do a fantasy battle force, it would be Chorfs. Yes. Mostly because I don't have anything like it. I would actually, if I were to start that collection, I would probably go with some Mantic Chorfs and go from there. Ah, but Skaven are also short. Yes, yes? Mm-hmm. But like I said, if I were to choose a faction, that is true. But no, there's something to be said about a faction that I just can't play in any of the other games that I have that make me a little bit more interested in them because they're not being supported or anything. Yeah. But that is not a project for the short term. But it is something that I've considered. I mean, what can I say? If I wanted to go for a force, I know that that's what I would want to go for. Because it's not something that is everywhere else. So... But I still have a ton of projects to do right now that are not that. So... I am in no rush. Hehehe. But yeah, I'm not in any hurry for that army. I have several others that I need to build up and paint for other game systems, and since they're not being... Since those forces are not currently being fielded in any particular army, or, you know, any particular game right now, I'm not that worried about getting them built and painted very fast. So, sort of like the Horde's armies. Since I'm not actively playing any of those editions, I don't need to work on them very fast. I can work on them at my leisure. So, not saying I won't get to them, but like things like BattleTech, where I can get a force up and possibly get people to play, that has a higher turnaround score. I am more interested in getting that together. So... Well, you never know. There might be eventually a Chorf army in the Badger Bunker. But yeah, like I said, if it can't be fielded in Age of Sigmar or Old World right now, isn't that the best one to collect? Also, I've been between the extra Stormcast that I purchased and the Skaventide box and the Space Marines from the swap meet, my percent completely painted has actually dropped below where I want it to be. So I'm trying to get a little bit more caught up before I purchase more models. Battletech barely touches that percentage, so or at least it hasn't touched it very hard, so it's something I'd like to continue working on, getting that back to a reasonable percentage. I am currently 26.5% painted. At the beginning of last month, before I purchased all the other things, I was at 26.33%. So, 0.17% increase in painted minis. And I've painted 75 just in the Skaventide box. So, I've been purchasing a lot. I could see Chorfs at like 40% painted. Something like that. Get through some of the backlog. Get some stuff in the display case. I have a few less projects in mind on the mind. But there are so many folds of fabric on this guy. I'm probably gonna have to do 2 or 3 back and forths with every color just to fix mistakes. Maybe not, but I also need to decide if I want to do some of the black-red for some of his cloaks. That'll be a decision for tomorrow. Yep. But yeah, that's the force that most interests me that is not in Age of Sigmar. Yep. Yes, exactly why I said I would look into the Mantic Chorfs to start the collection. Because, yeah, let's see. Based on what you were saying about 20% difference, it's what, about £100 for their box set? Somewhere in that area? 90, £100? But yeah, something like that I think would be a great start to a collection. Or two of them. Okay, I'm thinking about the not the small army box. It's like a army force or battle force, not battle force, but it's bigger than that. Maybe the Chorfs don't have one. I know that they're also in one of the starters that existed. Okay, yeah, the bigger set. And like I said, I think they were in one of the starter sets as well. So it's possible that there will be some like eBay options for split boxes and stuff like that too. that should also allow me to bring in a couple of random other chaos models, right? Like if I wanted to do a big centerpiece model type thing, like of the chaos of variety. Yeah, okay. So it's a tiny bit more expensive than I thought it was, but that's fine. I'm guessing it has like 80 or 90 minis in it, though, for that price? Cool. But yeah, see, just having the options, and I think it would be fun to just grab, a couple of those and find things from other places and build them all. Oh, wow. Um, yeah, that's wild. Oh, wow. That, Lamassu is really cool. Wilder? Okay. Yup. Yup. I will be bookmarking that. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. Uh, yep. That's wild. That is definitely one of those things where you have one of, because three would just be too much, but one is, yeah, that's going in the bookmarks. Uh, yes, it's perfect. Uh huh. Yep. Oh man. I'm trying to paint these small details and I'm just thinking about that and I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna get these details right. Oh, jeez. Well, on that bombshell. Oh. Wow. That, yeah, okay. So I finished the Liberators. Yay! And I started on this dude. Yep, on that bombshell. Yep. Yep. But yeah. I'm not gonna try to keep a steady hand in paint when I'm thinking about that. Oh my goodness. I just No, I can't. I can't right now. But I'm sure that's gonna come up again tomorrow. Alright, everyone. Yeah, I mean, I got 2.5 colors done. I don't know if I'll do more of this emerald somewhere else. He does have a robe and a cloak. And I think I actually want to do the black red as his outside cloak. So, well, I should be able to get him done. I don't know about the Griff, but yeah. But I think I might do the black red for his outside, his cloak, and do the purple as his robe. So, but we'll see how I feel about it tomorrow. But for now, I will bid you adieu. And if you haven't already seen that cannon, check it out in the Discord. And until next time, I hope you find your bit of bliss.